you'll probably find yourself using the search functionality in Anki quite a bit, whether it's to find content from previous cards that you want to add to a new card. Maybe you want to select down to a certain set of cards so that you can add a tag to it. Whether you want to use it to create a filtered deck for when you're cramming before an exam. So this clip will go through a few of the key operators you might not be familiar with, and also give you a quick pointer to the documentation that outlines all of the operators you can use in the search bar. So you'll see here I've got my browser window open. If I want to search the entire collection, I can just click on whole collection at the top left hand side, and then any search term that I enter in the search bar will search through all of the cards. But I can also start selecting down to do searches within particular subgroups if I just pick one of the selectors along the left hand side. So for instance, if I wanted to do a search within the ANU demo deck, then by selecting it I'll see an operator already included in the search bar along the top. Any term that I then enter after that operator, so let's say I want to search for mussels, will then only search within that deck. And you can do the same sort of thing with tags. So I could select a tag here, which is going to just search within the cards that relate to lecture ID Gene 07. You'll find that for some terms, and IGA is a good example, that just searching for that term will bring you a lot more than you actually want to, because the search is not case sensitive, and it will also find terms that include IGA. And so if you want to make sure that you're searching just on a particular version of a term, in this case if we're using IGA, I know that in most instances IGA is going to appear by itself if it has a space after it. So I can put quote marks around the IGA and include the space in it, and that should select down just to those cards that have IGA in them, and the IGA may be in the front or in the back. Let's say I wanted to combine the tags that I'm searching within, so I don't want to search just within immunology, I want to search also within immunology and those immunology cards that occurred during block 2, or BO2 as it's tagged in my cards. Then I simply add the tag BO2 to the existing set of operators I have in the search bar. And by default, Anki is going to use an AND operator for each of these terms. So it's going to search for cards that are tagged with topic immunology and tagged with block 02 and which contain the term IGA with a space. So that selects right down to a very few cards. Now what if I wanted to identify cards that were actually in block 2 and related to immunology but weren't under the topic immunology? Maybe it's to identify cards that I might have missed tagging. Well, then I can use just the negative operator in front of the tag. So it might be a little difficult to see here, but I've got tag BO2 and then I've got negative or minus tag topic immunology, and then I've got an operator to search for the term IGA. And that's going to bring me up cards that don't actually have the topic immunology tag against them. So these might be a couple that I've missed that I'd want to then select and add that topic immunology tag to. Now the terms IgG and IgA often occur together, and so what if I want to find cards that contain the phrase IgG but not IgA? Well, I can then use the negative operator like I am here. And so we'll see that the cards here shouldn't include IgA, but the one that I've picked actually does. And why is that? Well, it's because Anki again uses spaces to separate terms. So this term is actually IgA with a comma. So you'll inevitably find some cards that, because of punctuation, actually do include the term that you might be wanting to exclude. But in general, it's going to have excluded all of those cards that contain IGA. So I've had a look through these, and it is just the punctuation one that it has included. Sometimes you'll be interested in looking for particular questions. Perhaps you've remembered one and you want to find it where it is to make some modification to it. And so you can search just on the front of the cards by using the front operator. So you'll see here I'm searching for septic, and I've taken the operator out in front. If I do this, I'm going to get no cards returned. And the reason is that it's searching for a front of card that only contains the text septic and nothing else. So if I want to search for front of cards that include the terms septic with any other text around it, then I need to put the asterisk operator on either side of it. If I want to see cards that will have both septic and shock in the front field, then I can use the combination operator to indicate to Anki that both of these terms, I want septic and shock, but only on the front of the card. And you'll see that I get quite a different result if I use an OR operator, so septic or shock in the front of the card. It's going to bring me a lot more cards. I can select those cards down further to those that are due. So I've seen them before and learnt them, but they're now up for review by using the isDue operator. And similarly, I can select down to only those cards I've not actually reviewed before by using the isNew operator. And these terms can be quite useful when you're creating filtered decks, if you want to only see cards that you've not actually studied before. So I'll point you now to the website that contains information about a whole bunch of different operators, which you can read at your leisure. It's on the ankisrs.net website, and I'll include the link to it in the description for the video.